Miracle Maker for the $10 a month pledge. You will want to do it when you see our next guest. I believe her name is Becka, and she is on a flyer you might have received a couple of months out that was entitled, How Do You Mend a Broken Heart? Well, we have no longer a broken heart, Becka, do we? Sarah Plant and Becka Plant, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Sarah, your story, let's go from the beginning. Becka is your first child.
She is. We've worked really hard to get her. We had some problems with infertility, and so we worked hard and finally got pregnant. And at 35 weeks, we were surprised by a tiny, tiny person who was 5 weeks early. We were even more surprised when she wasn't breathing quite right, and she was transported from Trumbull after just a few hours down to St. Elizabeth's to the special care nursery, and she spent 2 days there before they found that she had two holes in her heart, an ASD and a VSD, so a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom. And she likes to talk.
Really?
And we went to Akron. She was transported out to Akron then, and we spent 10 weeks there before she came home for 6 weeks, and then went back for open heart surgery to fix the ASD and VSD.
Okay, now you just given, okay, she's early.
Right,
5
she's
weeks early, and you've delivered this baby that you've worked so hard for. Your feeling?
We were totally shocked. I think that at that point, we just said, okay, what do we do next? And we were so blessed to have such amazing doctors and nurses who could, the entire time, say, okay, listen, this is what's happening right now, and this is what we'll do next if we have to. When we got out to Akron, we were surprised to see she was in a room totally by herself, and we were like, oh, this is so nice and quiet. And it wasn't until 3 or 4 weeks later they told us, well, it was because we cleared the room out and we thought she was going to need the heart-lung bypass machine. But when we got there that night, the nurse just said, oh yes, we wanted her to have a nice peaceful rest, and it was just such an amazing experience. We can't imagine at this point having had it be any other way. We have loved we were scared, of course, but we have loved every minute of spending time in the hospital because of the excellent care that was taken, not just of her, but of us. I used to tell her nurses, thank you for taking care of me, too.
Boy, and that's the biggest thing. And your mom's here, she came up, she lives a couple hours away.
Right.
And they really, not only do you know that Becka, the most important one in the group, but it's really important for mom and dad and the family.
Right. We were scared, of course, but to have them there and the reassurance that, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen next either, but we're going to do our very best to save this little girl's life, to figure out what's wrong and to figure out what we can do to take care of that. It was so reassuring to us and so calming to us to know that somebody there was in charge and that they were helping us the whole way through. And keeping us really in the loop with things. I mean, the very first day that she was at St. Elizabeth's, the nurse even had me help take care of her. And here's this baby who's kind of grayish and barely breathing even with the ventilators and all the other machines hooked up. And you're like, well, you can take this little wipe and wipe her eyes if you want to. Now, secretly, I still have that little wipe. We took it home, but
And I'll tell you what, you must have done a good job wiping those eyes, because now, if you could see the most beautiful blue eyes looking at me right now, little Becka. So what's today? What's today bring with Becka?
we have been a tiny baby with a happy heart for 6 months, over 6 months now. She had open heart surgery when she was 4 months old, and she's 10 months now. We go next week to the cardiologist. We haven't seen him for 4 months, except for we saw him at the Heart Walk on Saturday, so it doesn't really count. But we haven't seen him in the office for 4 months, and we're hoping to space those out and keep spacing them out further and further as she gets older, and eventually only see him probably once a year.
Well, it might have been a broken heart to start, but it looks perfect to me right now, Sarah.
Oh, that's for sure. We have been loving every minute of her. She just gets wilder and crazier as the months go on.
Good luck. Now you need the nurses.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you guys now?
Right, exactly.
Well, Becka Plant, it is my honor. You are a beauty. Look at those blue eyes. How do you mend a broken heart? You become a miracle maker. They mend them each and every day here. Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley. Thank you, Sarah Plant.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, beautiful Becka. You keep doing good. Be a good girl. Give your mom problems. Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley, 1-888 888-746-9890. Now, from somebody who knows why that's so important to call, Sarah Plant, give us that number one more time.
That is for sure. It's 1-888-746-9890. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Plant family.